Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to show you the air layers that we did several weeks ago. We're not going to be able to zoom in on each tag, but you'll be able to see where you are in relationship to the plants that we're doing. So this is the Calliandra that was closest to the classroom, and we're going to show you these one at a time. What you want to look for is we're going to look at the air layer itself, how it's attached, if it still has aluminum foil on it, and then we're going to look down the stem to make sure that that stem is still alive. So there's the first one. Here's the second one. It looks like it doesn't have aluminum foil on it still, but the stem is still alive. Okay. And if we move farther down, we've got one right here that looks perfectly fine, right next to the fence. All right, go. All right, so sometimes we get ones that don't make it, and this is what it looks like. This is Tacoma Stan. This is Tony. Tony, I think Tony did more than one, but when you can see that farther down that it didn't make it, if we were to open this up and see what the story is here, try to figure out what's going on with this, it looked like it had some roots starting. Should I take the tape off?
No, just leave it.
Let's just leave it for now, but that one didn't make it. Okay. This is right next to Tony's. This is Columbus, and you can see that everything is still doing fine downstream of the air layer. Okay. So we've got another one down here. This is Melaleuca neciphylla. This one looks like it's doing okay. It's slightly yellowed downstream of the air layer, which means there's probably going through a little bit of shock. There's a little bit of a dieback here on some of the tips, but it's still alive, which means it'll probably be okay. Moving down here, we've got another one. This is Ariel, and this is looking like it's doing just fine. Okay, this is Jessica. So this air layer looks like it's doing just fine. And the Melaleuca. Okay, this is Jessica. So this air layer looks like it's doing just fine. And the Melaleuca. I'm trying to read these tags. So Stephanie, this is Stephanie's Melaleuca. Looks like it's doing fine. Foliage there's even have some new growth going on here, which is a good sign. And then finally around the back side of the Melaleuca, just says table 5 on here. So, whoever did this probably remembers it's on the back side of the Melaleuca tree. Next, Tacoma stands farther towards the Adams parking lot. So this is Sabrina Reed, and this is a successful air layering here. We're not going to pull everything off, but this is just so we can keep track of how we're doing. Okay, so there was only one air layer on this plant. So we decided we'd stop at Sabrina's and just take off the aluminum foil, and if we look through the plastic, we can see some nice white roots developing inside the sphagnum moss. So it's always good to be able to see, you know, a successful air layer and the results of that before the end of the semester. Typically we don't see this until a little later on in June or July. Okay, so all right, so we've got our Ficus Larata here. This is Amore. Okay, so we're at the New Zealand Laurel here, and we've got a air layer. This is Dorothy's, and you can see from here down everything is still pretty green. There's a little bit of yellowing going on, but we would know if it wasn't going to take because it would be dead. So this one's good. Okay, this is Laurus tinus by Burnham laurifolia, and this is Maxwell Smythe. This is his air layer. Looks like it's doing just fine. I'm going to kind of tighten up on the aluminum foil over here. Amore. This is another one. Looks like it's doing okay. Everything's green downstream. Let's move on. Okay, so this is Calliandra tweedii. And it looks like we have one that didn't make it. So this is Rachel. And you can see if we take it off. Do you want to take it off, Joe? Do we have enough film to run this thing?
Probably.
Okay.
This is a really hard one.
This one, yeah, this one doesn't succeed maybe 50% of the time. I don't know if you have time to watch me disassemble this whole thing, but we can always tell if it doesn't work. We can always tell. I don't see any roots in there, but you can see that downstream here things have kind of faded away. Okay, so we're at the Ficus Larata in the Arboretum. This is Steve Chang's. You can see that it's still doing just fine. We move down the line. This is John Nestor. He's doing fine. Moving down around the horn here. This is Rob Abarca, and it looks like we had a bad air layer here. So, you know, that's about the percentage. 2 out of every 3. Let's see what we have going here. This is Omar. So Omar's is doing fine. Let's go down and see if we see any more. This is Imagine. Looks like we're having a little trouble with Imagine, huh? Let's see. Yep, everything beyond the air layer has met its demise. I'm sorry, Imagine. Okay, I think that's